Mike, there you are.
Simon.
Finally, I found you. Good to see you. Thanks for the invitation. How's it going, mate?
It's good.
Alex told me that you're here.
Yeah. Had a good couple days here.
Can you remember your first day or your first experience as a snowboarder, at snowboarding?
I can. I know it very, very well. Yeah, for sure. I grew up in Connecticut on the East Coast, and we always went sledding at a local golf course, and we saw this, and we saw this guy, and it was at this really big sledding hill, and he came down the hill like standing on we thought a sled, and we saw this guy come down, and he just glided down the hill, and like I remember I just fell in love with it. It just looked so beautiful to me, and I was just like, oh my God, I have to do that. Every time there was like a snow day at school, we would all meet up at the golf course, and we would like build a little jump, and we would just take his board, and it was like one of the early Burton Backhill, it was called.
Okay.
Just wood, no base, no edges, nothing, and just like kind of like the water ski bindings, and like just ride down one track, hit one jump, and then hike back up and take turns. And so we just like share the board, and that was my first exposure to snowboarding. Over the next few years, like I just became obsessed with it. I'd like seeked out. I was like searching for everything to do with snowboarding, like looking for like any traces of where you could find them, where you could get them. The first place we actually saw them in a store was at a guy who sold supplies for swimming pools, and he thought this would be a good idea in the winter when he didn't sell any pool supplies, because nobody has a pool open in the winter time. So he had like a little stand set up with like snowboards, and it was called Rizzo Pool. And I remember like just standing at the window, like staring at them, and I got the first catalogs, and I was like obsessed, like, and begging my parents to get me one for Christmas, and just begging and begging. Yeah, but it was just pure passion, pure love for it, and just never thought about a career or turning it into much more. But
then you did.
Yeah, but
obviously.
my obsession just continued to grow, and my passion for it grew, and like right along with my personal passion, an industry was born, right at the same time. So it was kismet, it was just came together perfectly. And I went to university and was studying business, and then studying political science, and I was thinking I was going to go to law school, and I had all these other crazy ideas about what I was going to do with my life, and right then, like, becoming a professional snowboarder became like a thing you could do. And me and one of my best friends, we were like, it was dumping in Tahoe, and at that point, like, Tahoe, California became like, that was like the mecca. Like Squaw Valley was like the mecca of snowboarding. Like that's where you wanted to be. So me and one of my best friends, like with my mother with a tear in her eye, like, stay for Christmas. We were like, no, it's dumping. We got in his Jeep, like an old like soft top Jeep Wrangler, and piled all our stuff in there and just drove straight to California. I remember it so well, like 44 hours of just like coffee and beef jerky, like all the way across the country. And then
what a combination.
Yeah, it was super fun. That's like American road trip food, fuel, so coffee to keep you going, beef jerky to keep you sustained, and you're good, you can keep driving. And that's actually probably the time that I thought, like, yeah, I'm not going to law school. I'm going to be part of this, I'm going to be part of snowboarding. So
you have a long career in the industry, and just a few years ago, you moved over to Adidas.
Yeah.
Why was that the right move at the right time for you?
Well, I've kind of bounced around a bunch in the snow industry, and trying to get to know like how different companies run and how different kind of cultures work. And I've worked for like really small kind of owner-operated companies. I worked for Burton for a number of years, and working for Jake Burton and the team there was an incredible experience. I learned so much. I learned, I worked for Soltec, for Pierre and Don Brown and those guys, and just learning about the skate culture from them, and then the roots of 32 and snowboarding was that was a really cool experience. And then I went to work for GC, and that was part of Quicksilver. So I got to know how like a bigger kind of giant surf brand worked, and got to know the culture there. So I was kind of like working my way through the industry at like all these different companies and learning about different experiences, and there were always limitations to what you could do, because whether it was a budget or distribution or whatever it was, and when I saw the opportunity come up with Adidas, and as they were starting their snow program, I thought to myself, like, that almost has like limitless potential, because you don't have the limits of R&D. I mean, obviously the R&D facilities at Adidas are second to none. You don't have the limitations of distribution, because their distribution network it's second to none. So so in a lot of ways, like all the things I had learned on the business side, I saw the potential for something like Adidas to really be amazing in snowboarding.
So 3 years ago, you started putting, I'd say styles and techniques from other categories or Adidas departments on snowboard boots. So how great is that?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, like right away, because in a lot of ways, what snowboarders are looking for, style-wise and function-wise, and performance-wise, is a giant sneaker. That's what a snowboard boot is in a lot of ways. So the kind of catalog of resources from classic shoe styles like the Samba and the Superstar, and to the advanced technologies like Boost, you mix those together with the knowledge I have of how to properly build a snowboard boot and build a performance liner, and you kind of mash them all together, and it just comes together perfectly.
Speaking about Boost, so you're the first category, I guess, of Adidas who's able to use Boost. Why are you the first category?
Well,
why not?
We're the first after running.
Yeah.
So it was developed as a running technology, and when the guys in the Advanced Projects Lab, AIT, when they were working on it, they were noticing that one of the great properties of Boost is that it's relatively unaffected by temperature. So no matter how cold it gets, it still feels soft. So for running technology, that's cool, because stability, the kind of having a stable platform over a broad range of temperatures obviously is going to be good. With EVA, which is your standard kind of midsole, it freezes. It gets really hard in cold temperatures. Some of the guys in AIT were snowboarders, and they knew that we were doing snowboarding now, and they thought to themselves, like, wow, this could really be cool for snowboarding.
You don't only use the top-notch techniques Adidas has, you also use the classic and iconic silhouettes like you said, Samba or a Superstar. Why is the Superstar so strong for snowboarding?
I think Superstar it's strong for snowboarding just because it's such a strong classic style. I mean, it definitely worldwide, when you think Adidas, like the first shoe that pops into anybody's mind is the Superstar. So right when I started working with Adidas, people asked me right away, like, when is it coming? Because we didn't launch with it at first. It came later, two seasons in actually, and but right from the start, people were asking me, like, where's the Superstar? Where's the Superstar? Where's the shell toe? When's it coming? And just because we did the Samba, so people were kind of expecting us to do classic styles. So the Superstar was going to come eventually.
So, but why Boost and Superstar, new technology, classic silhouette, and not maybe why not the NMD?
Well, because
Next year?
we'll see.
Just give me a sign with your eye.
I'll talk to Nick about that one. I don't know. We'll see.
That would be awesome.
But no, I mean,
I guess it's hard to put like a primed or like a soft upper on a snowboard boot, right? So that would be.
it's not impossible.
Wait a second. Can you like zoom on his eyes? They're talking. It's not impossible. Okay.
Not impossible.
So when will we see the Yeezy boot? That would be perfect. So that's a no?
You know, it's yeah. I think that's so far on on a different path, and we want to be. You know, not only are we part of Originals, which is, it's really important for us to have that Originals heritage, but we're also part of Adidas Action Sports. And so we have a tie to skate as well. So like when we did the Superstar, another reason why the timing of the launch of the Superstar was what it was because we were launching a skate Superstar at the same time. Yes. And then also it was, you know, it was the year of the Superstar for Originals, so it was a kind of a big story for the brand. So that's why it made sense. And I think it's important for us to always have that tie back to, you know, not just Originals, but to the skate program as well, and to have those kind of those relationships. So, you know, we'll see. Let the skate guys do a easy skate first.
Okay. And then we'll have a look how that work out. So I guess there's almost endless possibilities to pick good techniques and archive styles when you work at Adidas. Yeah. But are you behind that? Are you working on something like totally new? Let's have a look at football. Yeah. They're having the Ace 2016 without laces. Yes. So Adidas is always pushing the boundaries. Are you at snowboarding pushing them with snowboard boots?
For sure.
So what's coming?
So I mean, for us, like, you know, when I look at like this first generation of our snow program, you know, it's rooted in the iconics. But I look at, you know, things like the NMD, and it's got the heritage, it's got those style points, but it also is the future. Yeah. And so, you know, we're looking to bring that to snowboarding. You know, what's the next generation of Adidas snowboarding going to look like? And it's still going to have some of that heritage feel, but it's, you know, the future. And snowboard boots have really, you know, they had a like kind of revolutionary design updates that happened, you know, more than a decade ago. And since then, they've kind of stopped evolving. And it's, you know, I feel it's really time for the snowboard boot to take another evolutionary step. And, you know, we're lucky that we have, you know, the support and the resources to hopefully make that happen.
Thanks for taking your time, Mike. Thanks for inviting us to the Alps.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming.
And I guess let's have a final ride before the sun really sets.
Yeah, let's go for it.